So an article has just gone up on SE Scoops about Sony trying to acquire Warner Brothers. This is after Warner Brothers has announced it will split into two separate companies, and Sony want to acquire their streaming service and other assets. So this would be HBO Max, for example. But this split at Warner Brothers isn't going to be completed until mid-2026. So Sony is interested in acquiring HBO Max's streaming services, IPs, and its gaming assets. So that would be companies like NetherRealm and Rocksteady. So the change at Warner Brothers Games is they've got a new leadership team for development, production, and tech operations. And they're restructuring into divisions based on their key franchises, which is Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and the DC Universe. They've promoted 3 studio heads to the roles of senior vice presidents. Yves Lechonck has been promoted. He's overseeing development teams working on Harry Potter and Game of Thrones games. NetherRealm studio head Sean Himmerich has been promoted, and he oversees the Mortal Kombat and DC games. And then you've got Stephen Flannery, who works on the Central Tech and Services. He oversees game and publishing technology. But this split creates 2 companies: Warner Brothers Discovery Streaming and Studios, to be led by David Zaslav, and then you've got Warner Brothers Global Networks, headed by Gunnar Wiedenfels. And that split puts the games division under the streaming and studios company. But it still won't be done until mid-2026, so a long way to go. So what do you guys think? Do you think Sony are going to come in and acquire this studio next year once they've completed the split? They've got a lot of valuable IPs. I'm glad that Warner Brothers has a clear vision to create more games in like the Harry Potter and the Game of Thrones and DC games like IPs. We've been lacking in that front for a while. And who knows, maybe if Sony acquires them, they would be some very strong IPs and they could create some really amazing games to prepare for the PlayStation 6, which is rumoured to be coming out in 2027. But let me know what you think in the comments. Would you support Sony acquiring Warner Brothers Games division, or should they just leave it alone? Thanks for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe.